With these two teams on the court tonight, we are going to see some tremendous perimeter players, some of the best in the ACC.
Without question, Mike, when you look at Duke's team, you talk about Ricky Price, Jeff Capel, and Chris Collins. On the other side, the outstanding freshman Stephon Marbury and the 5-year senior Drew Berry. But the X factor tonight could be Matt Harpring. You've heard the phrase, players coach. Well, Matt Harpring is a coach's player. This is a guy that does it at both ends, does it inside and out, can post up, can shoot the ball outside. He is truly a solid stat sheet stuffer. Not only one of the best players in the ACC, he's one of the more outstanding players in the country as a sophomore.
The newly renovated Alexander Memorial Coliseum at Georgia Tech. We'll be back with the lineups, but first, let's check in with Chris Fowler.
Okay, Mike and Clark, and Richard Phelps joins me. Almost every game in the conference critical with the way it's so balanced in the ACC this year.
Well, with Maryland's win last night over North Carolina and Duke playing at Georgia Tech tonight, if this becomes a reality, everybody now's in grabs for the second seed in the ACC tournament. If Wake Forest wins it, you want to play them in a championship.
You think Wake Forest will win the conference?
I really do.
First place team as it sits right now. They will take on Florida State, trying to protect a perfect record at home this year. We'll track that game tonight. Our second game is round 2 in the Garden State Parkway rivalry. Seton Hall, the narrow win at the buzzer over Rutgers. Now they have to go on the road. But up next, tip-off in the ACC, back to Atlanta. Jeff Capel and the Blue Devils, Stephon Marbury, and Georgia Tech. We'll see you at halftime.
Krzyzewski at 13-8. Ricky Price has given the team an extra dimension. In the last 3 games, he's been averaging 15.3 points a game and 5.3 rebounds. For the Yellow Jackets and Bobby Crimmins at 13-10, Eddie Elisma has been tough inside. In the last 14 games, he is averaging nearly a double-double. And Georgia Tech hasn't had that inside in a long, long time.
Been a little while.
Elisma controls the tip quickly to Berry. And Berry bounces one past Maddox. The leading assist man in the ACC for 3 straight years. Only 2 other players in the history of the ACC have ever done that.
Muggsy Bogues and Phil Ford.
Phil Ford, that's pretty good company.
Yes, it is.
Collins out of the corner. Maddox with a rebound.
Maddox coming off a game where he did not score a point. Typically that means that he'll be a little more aggressive offensively in his next out.
Harpring. Maddox to Berry, alone for 3, fakes it and then takes the 2. The rebound goes to Capel. Capel, nice pass ahead to Wallace, who puts it in. Carmen Wallace.
That's one of the subtle changes Duke has made as they've been able to win 4 of 5, Mike. They're looking for quick hitting opportunities in transition.
Maddox lost that one off his fingertips out of bounds to Duke. And Georgia Tech very shaky at the start.
Well, Berry mishandled one, and then now Maddox mishandling one. They had 19 turnovers in their loss against Maryland.
Ricky Price drains the jump shot, 4-0 Duke. And since Mike Krzyzewski has gone back to basics, the Blue Devils have played their best basketball.
Confidence, Mike. That's the key. They're more confident not only in what they're doing, but in who they are as players and as a team now.
Foul on Price inside. The first time these teams played was at Chapel Hill, and Duke won it 80, or at Durham. Duke won it, Georgia Tech won it 86-81. The first time they'd won up here since 1987. Elisma traveled.
That's 4 possessions, Mike, and 3 turnovers. A bad ratio and start.
And the other was a missed shot. There are the numbers, and Marbury went crazy in the second half as Georgia Tech shot 71% from the floor in that 20-minute span.
And Elisma and Harpring combined to make 12 of 12 from the floor now.
Capel, pull-up jumper for 3. Berry the long rebound. Georgia Tech would like to run.
Never got the other lane filled. Need 3 lanes filled if you're going to run a fast break effectively.
Here's Harpring on a tough pass from Marbury. Maddox for 3. Got it! Georgia Tech gets on the board after 3 minutes and 5 seconds.
Good matchup here. Harpring and Price.
Newton against Maddox. Spins out on it. Alisma with a rebound. Alisma is still reed thin, but he's getting it done anyway.
He's got great quickness, and he's stronger than he looks.
Harpring makes a nice catch.
Sweet. How about the ball fake on the pass? Throws the defender and got himself a wide open warm-up J from about 10 feet.
Maddox has all 5, and Georgia Tech the lead. Capel trying to take Berry. Pull-up jumper. Got it. Nice shot by Capel.
Now, you think he intended to make that, Mike?
No.
Okay, thank you. You have to take away points in terms of style when a guy does not intend to bank it. It counts the same on the scoreboard.
It's like golf. There's no room for an explanation on the card. Bad pass by Harpring. Marbury got it anyway and throws up an air ball. Harpring battling for the rebound. Foul over the back by Newton.
We talked about Matt Harpring at the top. A stat sheet stuffer, top 10 in 5 different statistical categories. And really a coach's dream. Just never gives up. Ball is kept alive by Maddox, and there's Harpring right inside.
Harpring goes to the line, 77% free throw shooter. That's 7th in the ACC. Looked bad on that one.
Playing with a sprained ankle, sprained his right ankle a couple of games ago, has not had to miss any game action and has put up the same kind of numbers. But I talked to him just before the game, and he said it's at about 85%.
Well, you could tell in the last game it really bothered him.
He's a tough guy, though. Having played football, certainly he brings a tougher mentality to the game than maybe some basketball players do.
What he intended to do in college really wasn't recruited that heavily in basketball until near the end of the senior season, and that's only because Bobby Kerman's son played on the same team. Alisma with a rebound off the miss from Capel. Marbury, ow, what a move. Oh. Shot wouldn't go for him. A foul underneath will go down to the other end. What a move by Marbury. Holy cow.
This is what you call a pausing, parking, and then deep freezing. The only thing he didn't get was the finish. But my goodness, showing you that explosiveness. And just short-armed. It actually was fading away a little bit. Didn't get it up and down.
Alisma picks up the foul on the follow try. Price will get arrested as Wojciechowski checks in for the first time, and Taman Domzalski comes in for the first time. This is Domzalski giving him some good minutes inside with moves like that. His problem has been foul trouble. He just can't stay out there very long.
Yeah, we're going to nickname him DQ, not for Dairy Queen, for disqualification. He fouled out in the last game in 15 minutes.
The last 3 in a row in 15 minutes and 6 for the season.
He's got tremendous potential, though, Mike. He's active, he's strong, and he's not afraid of anything.
Berry with a line drive 3. Georgia Tech regains the lead. Drew Berry shooting 37.8% from long range, but he's number 4 all time. Newton got 3 inside for the jam. Both teams starting to pick up their offense a little bit.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if this one doesn't get into the 70s. Georgia Tech averaging close to 80. Duke averaging low 70s.
Harpring went baseline but left the ball.
Well executed pick and slip here by the Blue Devils against the man-to-man defense. They're up by 1. Hey, Hoopaholics, how about a little basketball one-on-one, folks? 101 rather. Let's take a look at a nice little pick and slip. We'll hold it right here. See, Newton sets a good screen on Harpring. His man is going to come out here on Capel, and that allows Newton to what we call in the business slip the pick. And he gets an easy one at the rack. Man, this is fun teaching basic basketball like that, partner.
One of the oldest plays in the game, and it still works. Newton has really made a contribution this year. There were people who thought he would never be a productive player at Duke, but he has really come on, and you wonder where they would be without him. Maybe at dead last in the ACC. Wojciechowski, who was starting to shoot the ball a lot better. Berry's a 3-pointer, and Duke is up by 4.
Mike, when you talk about the improved play of Duke, I mentioned it a moment ago, I think it's confidence in understanding who they are, what it is they can and can't do, accepting those roles, and with confidence,
offense comes a tremendous amount of production from guys that are in good roles for themselves.
Mike Krzyzewski said that earlier. We have to identify and accept who we are.
Exactly. And good teams at some point in the season do that.
Shot clock down to 4. Wojciechowski did a nice defensive job on Marbury. Stayed right with him.
You know, I talked to Coach Krzyzewski about their improved defensive work. He talked about his team getting into better defensive habits, and I wanted him to embellish that. He said, basically, they're in better stances now. We're trying to pressure the ball more, and away from the ball, our players are in a better defensive stance so they can help and recover and be a lot more active at the defensive end.
And you have to protect the ball against these guys. Marbury and Berry are two of the best pickpockets in the ACC.
Nice help by Elise.
Capel had to change the shot. Collins catches it in midair, draws the foul from Maddox. Could be one on Michael Maddox. 4th annual ESPY Awards come your way on Monday night. 34 categories covering the best performances in sports. Awards for the male and female athlete of the year, the comeback athlete of the year, and the Arthur Ashe Award. Special performance by Hootie and the Blowfish. Hope they'd sing Hold My Hand. That's Monday at 8 Eastern on ESPN. Collins at the line, 73% on the season. The improvement in Duke has been remarkable, as has the improvement in Maryland, which is making them both contenders again in the ACC.
Well, I've made this comment before, but I talked to Dave Odom, the Wake Forest head coach, and he said the only thing we know about this league is that somebody's going to finish 8th and 9th, and you figure out who it's going to be. And that's basically a testimony to the balance and toughness of this conference, top to bottom. No really great teams, but 9 very good teams.
Marbury snapped a pass to Elisma, couldn't handle it. 5 turnovers for Georgia Tech in the first 6.5 minutes. Capel, pull-up jumper from the baseline. Collins with a rebound. Quick hands. Collins will put it back up. Newton got the follow. Excellent hustle inside by the Blue Devils. They're up 17-9. Domzowski dives to knock it away. Collins on the run. Berry gets a body on him. Dish to Newton. 19-9. Bobby Crimmins has seen enough. He wants a 20-second timeout as Duke has gone on an 11-0 run.
Check out this delicious dime. Nice spin move, head up, eyes aware, and there he finds Newton as Elisma comes to help. Great feed by Collins, who leads this team in assists. Beautiful pass, and Newton did a nice job having his hands ready and going straight to the rack.
And he doesn't lack for emotion, does he, Newton? He's a live wire.
And Duke felt they could penetrate against Georgia Tech and set up plays just like that. And you're right about Collins. Not only does he lead this team in assists, last year they made Jeff Capel work at the point. He really wasn't suited for it. He's been much better because Collins has been able to fill that role.
Great call, Mike. Here you take a look at the turnovers, +9, and that's just about the difference in the game in terms of points off turnover.
Duke playing very physically on defense, and Domzowski picks up the personal. Watch Wojciechowski when he plays defense. Gets a lot of body on the guy with the ball.
He's well put together. Not very tall, but stout. And not afraid to put his chest on it.
Juan Gaston, 32. Gary Saunders, number 11. The shooter comes in. And Juan Gaston, the 6'7" freshman from Decatur, Georgia, gets his first 2. Bobby Crimmins trying to go to his bench more, which has not been a trait of his throughout his career.
No, he likes to keep that rotation quite tight.
Wallace kicks it out to Price. And a little weave outside. 12 on the shot clock. It's up to Wojciechowski. He's being guarded by Harpring. Price leans into a tough shot. Tip won't go. Loose ball. Price Duke is getting all the loose balls. They are out hustling Georgia Tech.
Yeah, they're pounding them on the board. Plenty of seconds that time. Little buffet-style action on the glass, Mike. And that's been a problem area for Georgia Tech. They come in having gotten 100 offensive rebounds in conference play and given up 140 offensive rebounds. And something like that happening tonight so far.
Ball goes right by Elise Smith like he wasn't even expecting it. Domzowski walks. When big guys make moves like that at the top of the circle, they don't get away with it very often. 21-11, Duke. Team is getting better. The problem for them, they have lost double-digit leads in all 5 of these games, and right now they have a double-digit lead against Georgia Tech.
And to qualify that particular graphic, a couple of times they've had those double-digit leads at about this juncture in the game. And I think what's happened in those games is the confidence factor again. As a team makes a run, you panic a little bit and maybe don't stay with what you do best.
Marbury goes down, turns it over. 8 turnovers against Georgia Tech in 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Marbury has yet to score, and Georgia Tech has only taken 8 shots from the floor in this game so far. That's because he can't hold on to it.
The way they've handled the ball so far has been kind of like spaghetti, Mike, messy and all over the place. I mean, they're not getting it to the right guy. They're not squeezing it, and because of that, Duke is getting a greater number of shot attempts.
Wallace just tossed it up, but it's knocked out of bounds off Georgia Tech. Well, you knew Duke would get better. Any team under Mike Krzyzewski is going to get better during the course of the year. He's just that good a teacher.
Oh, yeah. He's an excellent teacher.
There's a look at Stan Brunson. They try to give him a couple of minutes a half, and he's really helped out well in the last couple of games.
And then also, you might have to add into that, obviously, Mike's qualities, Coach K's qualities as a teacher and coach. At the top level. But then you talk about the history of this Duke program. And those guys that wear that jersey, now there's some additional pride that comes with wearing the jersey of such a successful team.
Newton missed, but Wallace got the follow. The lead is a dozen.
Duke really doing a nice job defensively, Mike. One way that you can counteract pressure D is by beating people off the dribble.
Marbury trying to do just that, kicks it out to Saunders. He has excellent range, but misses this shot. Look at Marbury go up and get the rebound. The little guy can sky. Kicks it back to Saunders for another 3. Line drive won't go. Gaston rebound. Got it in the foul. Gaston gives Georgia Tech a much-needed basket.
Little penetration there, Mike. Twice, Stephon able to just get what I call pseudo-penetration. Just enough penetration to force help and then kick it to a teammate. See, Ricky comes to help. Ricky Price does. That leaves Saunders available for the open J. And anytime you get any kind of little penetration, typically lanes to that offensive glass are going to be available.
And also importantly on that play, as you see Harpring coming back in, it was the second foul on Newton, the 4th team foul against Duke. And Juan Gaston with a chance to complete the 3-point play. He has 4 so far tonight coming off the bench, equaling his average. Missed the free throw, the long rebound to Capel. Collins left wide open. Well, you don't even have to look. Just put it in the book. Gaston Harpring wanted the ball, had excellent position low on Capel. Gaston backing in. Very Maddox. Very aggressive move.
Mike, when you're a good player and you don't score, the next time out, even if it's just practice, but certainly the next game, you're going to be aggressive, looking to amend for that poor performance, and Maddox doing that tonight.
26-15, crowd starting to get into it. Wallace goes to the floor and travels.
One of the best times to shoot the 3 is in transition. Look at all these guys. Look at their heads. Nobody sees the orange. All these guys are not looking at the ball. And because of that, Capel able to push it ahead and get it to Collins for the transition 3.
Dump down to Gaston, little jump hook, got it. Nice pass from Saunders. The freshman out of New York has helped.
Big time, and they're doing it inside. smash mouth action. That wears the team down a little bit, Mike.
So what you don't normally expect out of a Bobby Crimmins ball club, the bench making an impact. Here's Domzowski back in there. Bad pass, this steal to Saunders. Showtime. 26-19, and Mike Krzyzewski wants it 20. Wants to tell Domzowski you can't just lob that baby out there.
Nope. You got to put some zing on it. That was a floater. Saunders anticipated it and then sent it down. Their last 3 baskets all in the paint, Mike, for Georgia Tech.
There's another guy, Saunders, who was not heavily recruited because he broke his ankle as a senior, and it was up to assistant coach Kevin Cantwell, who scouted him and said, this kid can be a player. All he needs is an opportunity. Averaging 6 points a game, 40% long-range shooter, and obviously he can run the floor.
Let's see what Duke comes up with out of the timeout. Probably some kind of called play to get a high-quality shot. Let's see what they get here.
Collins drives the baseline, gets the scoop shot. Domzowski stripped by Barry. The ACC leader in steals. Beautiful pass and then knocked out of bounds. He is the author of the spectacular pass, the cross-court bounce pass in stride.
Oh, you can see that one.
Something.
You can see it unfolding, Mike, as Gaston made a great effort. There you see where Drew Barry is in terms of career assist leaders at Georgia Tech.
And he's 15th all-time in the ACC. Capel out of the baseline in the corner, hits it 28-19.
Well, we've talked about a number of guys tonight, but Capel has been as good as anybody over the last 10 or 12 games.
Domzowski, beautiful block, and then banked in by Juan Gaston. 8 points for Juan Gaston. How do you explain a guy who averages 4 points a game and has 8 in the first half off the bench?
Getting high-quality shots and taking advantage of it.
Price trying to take Maddox. Capel with a long three. Offensive rebound, knocked away and stolen by Gaston, who's then knocked out of bounds by Domzowski. Crowd wanted a foul, won't get it. Saunders penetrating. Spun out on him. A rather physical game so far.
I wouldn't have expected anything less. Both of these teams feel like they desperately need this.
Another steal by Barry. Got Harpring with him.
Nice look inside.
Harpring, tough player.
That's a great play, Mike, because they pulled it out and allowed him to get established. A good post player needs time to get that guy on his back and then a teammate that finds him in position.
The moment Barry saw him, he hit him with it. 6:48 to go in the half. Collins threw it away, almost traveled. Here's Harpring with Price behind it. And here come the Jackets. Mike Krzyzewski wants to stop the run. The big lead has been cut to 3 at the Thriller Dome. We'll be back in a moment. All right, Chris, thanks very much. Our lead here is 3 by Duke with 6:38 to go first half.
Georgia Tech substitutions, number 3, Stephon Marbury, number 5, Kenny Ellis.
Boy, you look at the numbers now, much more even. Points off turnovers again even. Duke had gone until about the last 3 minutes with only 1 turnover, and in their last 7 possessions, they've had 5.
Domzowski leans into one, got the roll.
Go ahead, big fella. Just take it right at him.
Taman Domzowski is going to be a heck of a player before he's through at Duke. Here's Saunders for 3. 30-28. Collins goes to Newton. Uncontested jumper. Domzowski keeps it alive. Elisma finally gets the rebound. Georgia Tech and Tyre take the lead with a 3. Marbury for the lead. Here comes Wojciechowski. Stops to confer with Mike Krzyzewski and see what he wants. Marbury just can't get anything going offensively.
He's got a couple of good shots, too, Mike. It'll come, though.
Newton blows right by Elisma, then throws it away. Here's Saunders. Gives it up to Marbury, who saves it at the baseline. Berry for three. He's hit 2 bombs, and Georgia Tech has taken the lead.
Like, the thing about Georgia Tech tonight, they got going by way of getting it inside, and you know their explosiveness on the perimeter. And now that double-edged weapon becomes a real factor. Now that they've gotten it going inside, you know Marbury and Berry and Sanders can get it happening outside as well.
And now the crowd really into it. Harpring with a tough physical matchup when he's got Newton. Now he has Domzowski. Saunders on Wojo. Nice pass to Newton. Missed the shot, got the rebound, had it stripped by Harpring. And Wojo comes out with it again. Now it's swiped by Marbury. Nobody will catch him either. He's gone in the blink of an eye, and so's the ball. 33-30. Saunders nearly got a piece of that one.
Mike, this is as absolute a turnaround in terms of the texture and nature of the game as I've seen all year.
Shot clock at 12. Working Newton very hard inside. Can't hit the shot again. Collins knocked it out of bounds.
Early on, it was Georgia Tech not squeezing the orange, but now they're making plays like this. Marbury on the hustle in transition finds a wide-open Drew Berry, and he likes that one. And then Marbury from behind. Wojciechowski never saw him. And as you said, Mike, nobody was going to catch him in that situation.
Boy, he looks like he has sprinter speed.
Yeah, he's a good athlete. A very good athlete.
Georgia Tech in the last 6 minutes has outscored Duke 20-4. Harpring. Very patient.
See, he knows. The thing about Harpring, Mike, he knows who's guarding. He saw Capel was on him. I'm taking the little fella down in the hole, and I'm going to work him over. And that's exactly what they did, and his teammates recognized.
35-30. That was partially blocked. Brunson comes up with it to foul by Harpring. That's his first. Duke's still getting a lot of offensive rebounds.
I was just going to make that point. They're doing work on the glass, but a couple of times they put the ball on the floor and allowed hands to get in there and take it away. And then other times they just not finish strong. You got to either decide to dunk that thing when you get an offensive rebound or go strong to the glass. You try to drop it in over the top, you're going to end up missing a lot of them.
As good as Duke has become on offense, you don't see this very often. 22-4 run. And as well as they handle the ball, because you've got to have turnovers to have that kind of a run, too.
Right, exactly.
Mike Krzyzewski built an incredible empire. The miss, here comes Berry. He said before the game, the key, I have to play smart. Normally, that's exactly what he does. Maddox, Brunson knocked it away. And now Brunson will be called for the hold. 15 foul against the Blue Devils. Georgia Tech has committed only 3 here in the first half, so we're not close to a bonus for either team. 3:14 to go in the half. The Jackets on a run.
To play for a team in the NBA.
Oklahoma, Michigan, Louisville, North Carolina. Really the only bad loss they had, and a horrible loss to Mount St. Mary's. The other losses, Clark, those are some pretty good basketball teams, even though people don't know a lot maybe about Bradley and Santa Clara.
Right, those two teams are solid in their respective conferences and probably will end up in the tournament. We'll have to wait and see how things shake out the next few weeks. But I'm looking at Georgia Tech's record, 13-10 right now. What, 7 conference games remaining? Well, you're almost figuring they've got to get to 17, maybe 18 before the conference tournament. So that means
if they win all their home games and lose on the road, they would finish 10-6 in the ACC. Hard to imagine they wouldn't get in with a 10-6 ACC record. But just ask them about last year. Stranger things have happened.
Oh, yeah.
Newton kicks it out to Capel. Little two-man game. Newton wheels into the lane. Bounced out on him. knocked out of bounds out to Georgia Tech. Boy, Nuke really upset, too.
And he's getting some decent looks. I mean, he's being challenged, but he's catching the ball where he wants it. Duke desperately needs a conversion when it goes in there. That does so much for your psyche and morale when you hit a little bit of an air pocket.
He had that one stretch earlier in the year where he hit 80% from the floor. He's still shooting over 60, but a lot of these things are bouncing out now. Coming up tomorrow night, Illinois against number 10 Penn State. That's right, this is not a football poll. Illinois against number 10 Penn State at 7:30. They're having a great year. Followed by Tulane against number 20 Louisville. That's at 9:30 Eastern. Hats off to the Nittany Lions, who have really built a wonderful quality program up in State College, and they're going to be contended with for a long, long time.
I think you're right. Kudos to Jerry Dunn, who's done an outstanding job in his first year. And also Bruce Parkhill, who laid the foundation for that squad. But they're a legit club, Mike. Got balance inside and out. They do an excellent job.
Yes, sir. Now they're fighting for a little respect.
They've got 9.
Yeah, mine too. I just don't like the way people talk about other Big Ten teams and then them.
No, they're legit.
That'll change. Price throws it away. 1:57 to go in the half.
You see Coach K imploring his troops to continue to keep their heads in there defensively. And for all the sloppy play of the last few minutes, I mean, it's still only a 5-point game, and that's what Duke has to keep in mind. I mean, they're still very much in this thing. Just continue to be patient, and they need some shots to fall.
Nice pass to Maddox from Barry, who got free from a screen, and somebody is down.
Stephon Marbury, it looks like, Mike, may have collided. It looked like he was the guy who set the screen to free up Michael Maddox.
Boy, and he went down like a shot, too.
Oh, yeah, he's not moving, Mike.
Take a look and we can see what happened to Stephon Marbury.
He's going to set the screen right here, I think, to free up. There it is right there. Okay, screen in Brunson, and there it is. He may have just gotten the wind knocked out of him, Mike.
Could be.
Because he got hit right up in that upper chest area, right around the diaphragm, so he may have just gotten the wind sucked out of him.
Yeah, you say just. You know, you remember how that feels.
Oh, that's awful.
You feel like you're going to die.
Right, it's one of the worst feelings you can have.
And then the scary part is when you realize you're not going to die. You're just going to have to put up with that for a while. You can't breathe. 37-30, Georgia Tech. Collins calls out the play. They need a bucket in the worst way. Georgia Tech really extending its defense.
Sometimes your defense, people talk about you have to have your defense all the time, but it's amazing how much better teams play defensively when their offense is going pretty good.
Absolutely. Capel with a tough fall-away jump shot. Domzowski kept it alive. Barry with a rebound. Excellent rebounder is Drew Barry.
I think that was a tough shot by Capel. In that situation, you've got to try to get something a little better.
Here's to follow, rims out. Harpring, he's fouled. The shot won't go. Was that Maddox that had the follow? It looked like it almost went in.
Yeah, it was he and Alisma playing volleyball on the glass.
Coming up at halftime, the Delta Faucet halftime report. FSU at number 9, Wake Forest. An update on that game, as well as number 18, Syracuse on the road at Pittsburgh, where the Panthers have been tough. Got a Pac-10 coaching change. Chris Fowler and Digger Phelps bringing you up to date on everything. Harpring goes to the line, 7 points. He's hit 1 out of 2 from the stripe, 2 rebounds, and a pair of assists in the first half. Bobby Crimmins says he's one of the hardest workers he's ever had. He's a grinder.
Yeah, right. That's a good word for him.
Maddox will get a breather with 55.7 seconds to go.
Stephon Marbury relaxing until the break.
39-30. This is Wallace trying to penetrate. Capel for 3. Got it. Cuts the lead to 6, and that'll help Duke at least going into the locker room.
They need to get a stop on the heels of that, though, Mike, to really fortify themselves, I think.
4-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Alisman. Gaston left alone.
No, big fella.
Take it out.
No, big fella. Don't
punish him inside and then step out behind the three-point line.
That is only his 4th three-pointer this year, but he has 11 points. That's within 2 of his career highs. Collins, tough shot, partially blocked by Saunders. 3 seconds to go. Barry launches one. Online but short. Quite a comeback for Georgia Tech as they got some real help from Saunders and Gaston off the bench to take a 42-33 halftime lead. Right now, let's go to Chris Fowler for the Delta Faucet halftime report.
Mike, thank you, and Digger Phelps joins me. It wouldn't be an ACC game if some team didn't get out to a huge lead and the other team stormed back. Every game is like that.
But I don't want to be in Duke's locker room because I'm sure Coach K's got some things to say about defense and offense.
Coach K wouldn't let you in his locker room. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, maybe.
Coming up on our Delta Faucet halftime report, we'll check in and see how the leaders in the ACC, Wake Forest, are doing against Florida State. And also in the SEC, big meat hook, your guy, Florida taking on Tennessee. Scores and highlights and news coming up.
First half stats, Georgia Tech shoots 61%. Remember, in the first meeting, they shot 72% in the second half. 3-point shooting, 5 out of 8. The rebounds, amazingly enough, Georgia Tech with a 17-14 lead. It felt like Duke got at least 14 offensive rebounds in the first half.
I think they got them all in 1 or 2 series. That's why it looked like so good.
Yeah. Stan Brunson starts the second half for Mike Krzyzewski. This is Price working outside with Capel.
He starts in place of Chris Collins is out there. Carmen Wallace is who he replaced.
Right.
A little bigger, a little stronger than Carmen. With the work Georgia Tech did inside, Coach K looking to shut that aspect off.
Shot clock is down to 3. Price having trouble with a basketball. Didn't get it there in time. Yes, he did. Oh, tough shot with a clock running down.
Those are the kinds of plays you'll come to expect from Ricky Price as he continues to mature. Plays against the shot clock, plays when there's not much happening. He's got that kind of ability.
The last 3 games coming into this one, he has just been sensational. Barry, first miss from 3-point range tonight. Here comes Collins. Capel trying to take Harpring and does, but it's blocked by Alisma. Harpring tries to save it, knocked out off Duke. Brunson got a hand up.
Well, that's a tough matchup. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but here, Harpring trying to defend the quicker Capel, and Capel gets inside. Good help, though, by Alisma.
Alisma, the number 3 shot blocker ever at Georgia Tech, behind only Malcolm Mackey and John Sally. Really not in their class, but he's done a great job in the last 2 years. Long-range jumper by Marbury, who still only has 2 points on the night.
Yeah, looking for dessert before dinner there, Mike. Need a little more ball movement before you jack up that kind of 3.5 court set.
Newton way outside, goes to Price. Brunson wants it down low against Alisma. Price with Harpring on and leans into one. Alisma with a rebound. Here comes Marbury. Barry alone for 3. Nice dish, missed the shot. Alisma kept it alive. Harpring. No basket. Offensive foul. 2 on Harpring. Bobby Crimmins doesn't like it.
Let's take a look. Alisma keeping it alive. Harpring, right place, right time.
That's one typically you won't see called, but he did initiate the contact.
He did. Capel blocked by Barry. Knocked away by Marbury. Price, Harpring, nice anticipation. Marbury. Maddox, nice move to get in the lane, then tries a tough bounce pass. Would have been tough for Alisma to come up with it anyway. 13 turnovers for Georgia Tech. Duke has committed 10. The second half has been very sloppy for both sides.
Both teams have had some stretches of really good defense in terms of being on the ball, helping out when people get beat.
Collins got a good screen to get free, missed the shot. Brunson offensive rebound. Collins all the way across the key. Price will try a 3. Brunson kept it alive, and Newton got it. Duke's got to take advantage of these. Collins, great feed, partially blocked by Maddox. Barry, great dish inside. What a pass, and Marbury laid it in. A little no-looker.
Great cut by Marbury, too, as his man lost sight of him. He went straight to the goal.
4 points for Marbury, 4 assists for Drew Barry. 44-35. Georgia Tech now up by 9. Elisma ends up out on Capel. Newton over Harpring.
So you got to finish those plays, Mike. That's twice now they've had it in the paint in this half, and Duke just hasn't gotten it in the hole. It's not just because of defense. I mean, guys are just missing shots.
Marbury, great dish, but they can't hold it. Maddox had a shot at an easy layup and lost it out of bounds. Beautiful pass by Marbury, but it gets them nothing.
Take a look at Drew Barry here. A little penetration now. See, Capel never sees Marbury behind him. And Drew, if you get open, he'll find it. I mean, you got to be ready to catch it when he's got it.
The last of the Barry brothers, and to me, the best. Just a superb all-around player.
Oh, wait. I don't like to disagree with you an awful lot.
Oh, go ahead.
How about Brent Barry?
Hey, I like the whole family.
Okay. All right. They're all good. There's no question about it. A little different. Drew may be the best of the passers. He may be the best passer of the group.
Newton really battling inside. Newton's getting his job done. He has 6 points tonight. The lead cut to 7. Boy, they had some great guards at Georgia Tech.
Oh, man.
You just line up a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you talk about significant college guards, and then they've gone on to play well in the pros, most of them.
It all started with the best one of the lot, Mark Price, who donated $100,000 for the renovation of this building, by the way. Harpring clobbered, no foul. We've got a timeout, 15-13 to go in the game. Georgia Tech on top by 7.
Big jobs need big muscle.
Georgia Tech by 7, 15-13 left in the game from Atlanta, and Buzz is happy about it. The numbers on Marbury, he has struggled with his shot, but to his credit, outside of one shot, he has not forced it. He is a very mature freshman.
Exactly. And that's part of the maturation of a point guard. Sometimes you're not going to get the shots.
Harpring with that range gets the 3.
Well, Matt Harpring just grows on you. The more you watch him, I mean, his game is as basic as pound cake. I mean, it's real simple, but so effective. He can go inside and out. He plays hard at both ends.
Price, fall-away runner, and he'll draw the foul on Harpring. That's 3 on Harpring. Georgia Tech cannot afford him to be on the bench for very long.
Well, I'll tell you what, the way Gaston has played, certainly Bobby Crimmins would have to have a little more confidence if, in fact, Harpring has to sit down for a bit.
Harpring may be saying, I got hit about 5 times that hard on the other end.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're exactly right, Mike. And did it in a nice, diplomatic, straightforward way. I mean, that's how you have to deal with those officials. There's an art to that. There's more art to it than science, believe me. And if you do it properly, the officials typically will give you the benefit of the doubt, and they'll appreciate how you conduct yourself with them over the course of a game and certainly over the course of a season.
But if you go get in their face, you're not going to get a call the rest of the
No,
year,
exactly.
You know?
No, you've got to be diplomatic about it.
47-39, Georgia Tech by 8. The Jackets would tie for second place in the ACC with North Carolina. Only a game behind Wake if they can win tonight.
Wake having some trouble with Florida State right now.
Elisma can't hold it again and called for the travel. Elisma has not shown real good hands tonight.
Check out Marbury. Good little curl move. He's immediately off the ground. I mean, he's like a pogo stick. Not only does he jump quick, but he jumps quick and high.
15 Georgia Tech turnovers, travel on Price. Wojciechowski will check in, and Price will sit down for Mike Krzyzewski. Has his team back within a game of 500 in the ACC. A win tonight would make them 5-5.
He
you see Quinn Snyder talking to Ricky Price. Price maybe just a touch anxious the last couple of times he's had the ball. It needs to idle down just a notch.
Marbury dishes. The tip by Alisma wouldn't go after Saunders miss. Saunders fighting for it on the floor. Duke will come out with it with Collins. Wojo. Out of the corner, the three won't go. Collins with a rebound. Capel and he's held. Saunders. Crowd not real happy with the officiating crew right now. They're really getting on them. And here's some updated scores for you. Florida with a big lead. And we'll keep you up to date on what's going on throughout the country.
Miami of Ohio out comfortably in front of Toledo, although the team in that conference to keep an eye on, folks, Eastern Michigan.
Capel with a tough three. 47-42. Here come the Blue Devils. Capel has 10. Wojciechowski has played some pretty good defense when he's been in there tonight. Saunders to Barry. Great block by Carmen Wallace. What a block.
Oh, what a reaction defensively.
He knew he couldn't get the lob in the air, so he waited for Barry to catch it and stuffed it.
He timed it beautifully, too. Stayed right on top of it. And Mike, as a player, that's surprising. You typically don't get alley-oop blocks.
It's like looking in the eyes of a wide receiver. When you go for it, I'll go for it.
Exactly.
Shot clock at 5. Marbury dumps it off, and Maddox can't handle it. Georgia Tech has let some easy passes through their hands tonight, and that's why Bobby Crimmins has had white hair for a long time.
Now you see the turnovers. They average 15 a game on the season, 17 already, and we've got 13 minutes to go.
Georgia Tech starting the second half the way they started the first half. 4 points in 7 minutes. They get 5 turnovers. Newton with a miss. The rebound of Maddox. Barry, head up. Nice pass. Blocked by Wojciechowski. They'll get him for the foul.
Well-executed transition opportunity there. Somebody was ahead of Gaston and cleared through out underneath the basket. That created the lane for him to get the pass. Let's take a look. See, there's Gaston now. He's trailing. It looked like Wojo who picked up the foul, but I think Gary Saunders was the guy who actually was in front of Gaston and then stepped under the hole and allowed Gaston to come on his backside and get that pass.
11 points, 3 rebounds for Juan Gaston, who was a high school All-American wide receiver and eventually hopes to play some football at Georgia Tech. He runs a 4.440. Missed both free throws.
Who runs a 4.440?
Gaston.
Oh, my God. And what does he weigh, about 240, 230?
Yes, sir. High school All-American football player. Collins from another zip code, nearly another time zone.
You can get that anytime, Mike. That kind of three. A little more patience is needed.
Newton reaches over the top and knocks it away. Crowd wanted a foul, so did the Georgia Tech bench. Oh, what a great pass. Oh, bullet pass to Domzowski. The lead is 3.
What about the catch, Mike? Oh, that was an excellent catch.
A big guy in transition who can grab that ball. You don't find it that often. The crowd on its feet, letting the officials hear it as Georgia Tech takes it 20.
This is like having a giant suction cup. Look away, right in his hands. I mean, Wojo threw that one so hard, it just stuck in his hands, Mike. Well done. Looked away. Didn't have much margin for error there. And Bobby Crimmins says, hey, I feel the tide shifting just a bit. Let's put the brakes on and talk about it for a minute.
It's really hard to describe how much Wojciechowski has improved since the beginning of the season and since last year.
Right.
His passing is so much better. His shooting is better. His defense has been sensational.
Right. Yeah, he moves his feet, and he's a strong, well-built, smaller guy. And he makes up for a lack of quickness just simply by keeping his feet active and anticipating where his opponent is going.
He's quick enough.
Yeah, oh yeah, he is. He's not play-footed.
The lead cut to 3. Nice dish inside. Basket counts, and the foul on Capel as he came over to help out.
Jeff, He runs a 4.40. He can hop, and he weighs 240. You can't stop him from putting it in the hole.
Juan Gaston has just tied his career high as a freshman with 13 points.
This is just too much strength here, Mike. Seals off Newton, and then knows he's going to get hit. And Capel gave him a pretty good shove. I don't even know if he felt it.
Missed both free throws, but he hits this one. A career-high 14 points for Juan Gaston.
Well, I tell you what, if Gaston can bring this kind of energy and production, you talk about Georgia Tech being a scary team. You know how explosive they are on the perimeter. If they get any kind of inside game consistently, they'll be a tough, tough team.
Nobody will want to play him. Newton wheels across the lane and travels. The Duke bench didn't like the call.
Well, that looked like a pretty good move to me.
Timeout on the court, 11:39 to go in the game. Georgia Tech now by 6.
Exactly. And the point you made about them needing to win their games at home is a good one, Mike. You want to take care of business on your own floor. I think you're looking at probably 5 wins, maybe winning the conference. 5 losses, rather. I'm sorry.
I think so, too. Nice job by Harpring to get that ball out there. Wide open 3 on the Berry dish, and Saunders drains it. 8 points for Saunders, the lead back to 9. Wojciechowski being dogged by Marbury.
Like I said earlier, I didn't know if the defense was causing turnovers, and I think in both teams' cases there have been some unforced errors, but the defense on both ends has been pretty sticky, I think. Let's take a look at spacing, folks. Ball's going to come here and then here. Ricky Price has to come up here to challenge Drew Berry, and because of that, now you've got Saunders, and there's no way Wojciechowski can rotate. That is called spacing up.
Last foul was on Saunders. It's his second. Marbury just giving Wojciechowski fits. Wojo nearly walked, got the pass off. Berry knocks it away from behind. Harpring saves it, but to Newton. Newton gets it back. Did he step out of bounds? No, he was fouled on the floor. Foul on the drive at the baseline. Eddie Elisma picks it up. That's 2 on Elisma. And the 15th foul against Georgia Tech. Duke has committed only 2 here in the second half.
And that's something we obviously have to keep an eye on, because anytime you're trailing, if you can be first into the bonus, obviously that bodes well for your comeback attempt.
Price with a quick first over the lane.
Oh, man, he came down. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Price is hurt.
Oh, it's a cramp. I think I read his lips. I think he said a cramp.
They're bending the toes back. What a good sign that is.
Oh, my God. Because otherwise you start thinking about all kinds of things. Ankle, knee. And I saw his lips say cramp. So, I mean, that doesn't feel any better at the moment. But
no, but it'll get better.
Right. Exactly. These are the kinds of plays that Ricky Price can make. Tremendous explosiveness. And then look at the extension. Concentration, great finish, and then he locked up on him right there. Now, I've had one of those before. It wakes you right up. If you get one at night, Mike, it's one of the worst things. I mean, it stands you up. It stands you right up.
Price is going to limp off the court. They're going to have to work on him on the bench.
And sometimes those cramps, I mean, because they knot up and contract that muscle so much, you have some soreness, even though maybe you can get back out and get after it. You still have a little soreness in that area.
Georgia Tech has outscored Duke's bench tonight, 22-9, as Gaston and Saunders combined for the 22.
That's huge off their bench.
7-point lead for Georgia Tech.
They haven't been getting that kind of production from their bench guys. Saunders has been consistent, but Gaston has been sporadic.
Saunders, nice drive in the lane, puts up the shot. And I think, is it an offensive foul on Saunders? It is. That's 3 on Saunders.
Georgia Tech foul number 11, Gary Saunders. That's his 3rd.
Watch out now, Mike. That's 16 fouls on G-Tech. The next one, and Duke starts shooting, and they're a pretty good free throw shooting team. Right around 75% in conference play.
Under 10 minutes to go. Berry on Collins. Capel around the screen. Marbury couldn't get there. Missed the shot. Alisma with good position in the rebound. Marbury blows into the lane. Alisma, a 15-footer. Well, that was a line drive jumper. Very little margin for error. Wojo back the other way. He'll set the offense.
Boy, Duke, I think, has to look to try to get something inside, Mike, either by way of the pass or the dribble. You really don't want to start settling for that perimeter shot too much.
Barry, great anticipation, makes another steal. Marbury to Saunders, who wants the three. Short, kept it alive, but Collins has it. Low to Newton, backing in. Alisma swats it away. Ahead to Saunders.
Greg Newton never had any balance there, Mike. And you can't operate in the paint without balance.
Alisma was waiting patiently.
Exactly.
55-46. Even though Alisma has not scored, he has 8 rebounds and 2 block shots. That's what they ask of him. You got to know your role.
Exactly.
Newton has it again down low, backing in on Alisma. Gets this one. Greg Newton has not had much shooting luck tonight, but has 8 points now. They try to pass it ahead. Harpring can't get there. Another turnover. That is 20 for Georgia Tech, and yet they lead by 7. Harpring with a save. Collins gets it and bursts right to the bucket. What an alert play by Collins. 7 points for Chris. Price still suffering from that cramp. When these two teams hook up, it is always a great game. Collins with a steal off the poor pass from Marbury. Basket counts and the foul. Collins did a great job protecting the ball with his body.
I don't know. I look at Georgia Tech. They look a little tired to me,
They
Mike,
do.
because their passes have just been floaters. Look at this. I mean, that's a lazy, casual pass. Drew Barry didn't come to the ball. Collins steps in, and this is an excellent play. Use your body, get inside of the defender, and concentrate on the rack.
And Barry looked like he thought he had the block. And now Collins can cut it to 2 as he goes for his 10th point from the line. Missed the free throw, rebound to Saunders. 7:35 to go from Atlanta. Maddox to the cutting Harpring, and he's fouled by Wallace. Only the 3rd team foul against Duke with 7:28 left. Neither team got into the bonus in the first half.
No, it rolled by. Not many foul shots in that first half.
Timeout, 7:28 left. 3-point lead for the Jackets. Trap when you play those guys.
Oh, man, they bring it, Mike. Defensively, intensity. They've got the whole package.
Wall to wall for 40 minutes.
Exactly.
Well, Georgia Tech is doing everything it can to keep Duke in this ballgame with 20 turnovers, and yet they lead by 3. Both teams honestly have to feel very fortunate to be where they are right.
Exactly right. Georgia Tech with the lead despite the 20 turnovers, and Duke within 3, even though they really haven't played that well themselves offensively.
Harpring kicks it outside. Harpring is mugged by Domzowski. Teams, of course, played earlier, and here was the scoring summary from it. As Marbury had 27. Tonight he's been held to 4. Harpring about half what he had in that game. Drew Barry only was 6, although he's in 2 3-pointers. Maddox and Gaston are the difference. 23 combined points as opposed to 5. And Bobby Crimmins has been trying to go more and more to his bench. He admitted his philosophy doesn't work as well as it used to with the iron 6 or 7. Sometimes it was the iron 5.
Yeah, right. It helps when you've got guys who contribute off your bench. It keeps your starters fresher. And then it presents different matchup problems for the opposing team.
Georgia Tech by 5 as we approach the 7-minute mark. Collins to Wojciechowski, open for 3. Banked it but missed it. Wojo gets it back, delivers to Capel. It's blocked from behind. Domzowski tries And Harpring really upset as they're going to call a foul inside. That would be 4 on Harpring if he gets it.
No, I don't think. I guess it was Harpring.
He said, I didn't do it. Maddox was the guy who blocked the shot and then appeared to make the contact on the follow.
Georgia Tech foul on number 15, Matt Harpring. That's his 4th.
Let's take a look. Good hustle here by Wojciechowski. And then he leaves it for Capel. Marbury, good block there. And then the tail end of it, it looked like somebody was behind Domzalski.
It wasn't Harpring.
Yeah, I think it was somebody else behind him. Matt was in the neighborhood.
Maddox was there. So Harpring is going to have to sit down with 6:51 to go. He did everything he could to plead his case. You can see him say, I didn't do it, didn't touch it. Domzalski hits 1 of 2. The lead is 4.
Look for Stephon Marbury to step on the pedal a little bit. Even if he doesn't get by Wojciechowski, if he gets him in that dotted line area, he can just jump right over him and shoot it. He's been very passive offensively, looking basically just to run the club. When you got his kind of package, you got to look at the goal some.
Goes down the lane, kicks it back outside. The jump shot won't go for Gaston. Duke looking to cut into a 4-point lead. Collins, tough shot. This is going to be on Domzalski. That's his 3rd as he tries to get the follow. Coming up after our ball game, we'll go to Seton Hall and Rutgers. That's a 9 o'clock start. Dave Sims and Derek Dickey standing by to bring you that one. But we still have 6:21 to go here with a 4-point game. Gaston knocks it outside to Maddox, over to Saunders.
Oh, see, they got to clear this out. They got to clear the side and let him go to work there.
Really had a mismatch against Domzalski. Got it inside, but the shot won't go for Saunders, and Capel with a rebound. Had a mismatch and couldn't take advantage.
Exactly. I think Georgia Tech a little slow in recognizing who was guarding Marbury that time. They still got a good shot, though.
Newton backing in at the baseline. One of his favorite shots. The lead is 2. Newton now has 10. Crowd has really been taken out of this game.
What we call a fan-free environment right now.
That's right. Marbury, pull-up jumper. Got the roll.
He gets that whenever he wants it, Mike. Whenever he wants it, he gets that shot, and I think he's going to want it a lot here in the next 5 minutes.
I think Bobby Crimmins is going to tell him you want that shot every time. Again, low to Newton. They clear out that side. He tries to go into the lane. The foul will be on Maddox. That'll be 2 on Maddox.
Greg Newton, he doesn't look the best down there, but when he's got his balance and he stays patient, he's not a bad guy to have down in that low box, especially now that you've got the bonus working in your favor. It makes sense to try to punch it in there, see if you can draw fouls, and if not, maybe get your kickouts where you can get some high-quality threes.
That was the 9th team foul against Georgia Tech. From now on, everything will be a 2-shot foul. Newton only a 63% free throw shooter. Domzalski with the follow. One offensive rebound after another. Elisma with a great save. Ahead to Marbury. Marbury, pull-up shot, he's fouled. Foul was on Collins.
Don't even mention that score. That's my alma mater. They got 4 points in 8 or 9. And they're really struggling with the young group.
Yes, they are.
You look at Auburn and South Carolina. Georgia, after a pretty good start going into conference play, they've had a tough time winning on the road in SEC play.
Marbury, 6 points, 5 assists, well under his season average. Misses the free throw.
He's been in double digits every game so far this year. Harpring coming back. He's got 4 PFs.
Bobby Crimmins going for the throat with 4:57 left.
You know, Harpring is one of those kinds of players. I said at the top that he's a coach's player. And typically when he's on the floor, it just seems like things go better.
He just got an offensive rebound as Harpring missed them both. New 35 on the shot clock for Georgia Tech. We're under 5 minutes. A 4-point lead for the Jackals. Leisman comes way out high, and boy, Domzowski's aggressive, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's not afraid to bang. He's got an excellent body for a young guy. I mean, he's well put together.
This foul is going to be on Capel, holding Harpring. That's 2 on Harpring, or on Capel, rather.
So you take a look at Harpring. Working, staying active. Look at him use that lower body. See him use that lower body. That's how you get open down in the low post.
Jeff Capel's strong, but that's a tough matchup for him.
And my dad always told me, good big will take care of good little.
Yes, sir.
Just about every time.
And you found out because you were good big.
Capel giving up a little weight and height to Matt Harpring.
Harpring now with 15 points, 6 out of 7 from the line. 77% free throw shooter, 7th in the ACC. He's 5th in scoring, 4 in field goal percentage, 4th in rebounding. Not bad. 3-time ACC Player of the Week this year. The lead back to 6. Price for 3. Couldn't get it to fall. Maddox rips down a rebound. Harpring goes to Maddox. Takes up a little space down there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he just sure does. They say he may be the strongest guy on the squad.
Barry tried a tough pass. Marbury just got a hand on it. Into the lane. He dumps it off. The foul on Wojciechowski. Pretty pass by Marbury.
I've been really impressed with Stephon tonight in terms of his floor game. He's had 1 or 2 minor lapses, but that happens when you play big minutes and you have the ball as much as he does. But this is a good decision here. Draws defenders and then finds Elisman. Well done.
Number 20, Chris Collins for Duke.
Eddie Elisman at the line on the season, shooting only 52% from the free throw line, but in ACC games he shot over 76%. In the last 2/3 of this season, he has really stepped up his point production and his accuracy.
And again, you go back to that word confidence. He overshoots that one.
Georgia Tech has missed 3 of the last 4 as a team. That was the 8th team foul against Duke. Tech only 8 out of 15 as a team tonight. And 9 out of 16. The lead is back up to 7. Wojo kicks it ahead to Price. When Newton is working hard trying to establish position down low against Elisman, he wants the ball again. Marbury last to touch it out to the Blue Devils. Timeout on the court. 3:55 left in the ACC. Georgia Tech by 7 over Duke.
When Plumbers hit...
If you joined us late, Duke has had the much better of the turnover margin tonight. Greg Newton with 12 points all inside and battling hard on the board. Georgia Tech's bench has been big tonight. Juan Gaston with 14 points. He has provided the margin between the two benches. You see a season's average, 14, is a career high for the freshman. Capel stuffed. Capel will try a 3. Got it. How's that for coming back after having one stuffed right back in your face, and then you drain a 3?
Since he stepped on campus, he's been a big shot taker and a big shot maker.
Elisman out high, trying to get some help. Finally does from Perry. Marbury trying to take Collins. Collins knocked it away. Domzowski. Boy, he can run the court for a big guy.
I'm telling you, this guy has great promise. I mean, look at his body. He's cut up. He's like cable wire, and he's about 6'10", Mike.
6'10", 245. He has 9 points. The lead's been cut to 2. Timeout on the court. Only 3:09 to go from Atlanta.
Have a little field time tonight, buddy. Let's take a look at Chris Collins with the nice pilfer. Stephon Marbury has a little bit of a high crossover dribble here. Collins times it beautifully. and flicks it away. Now we're off and running. Domzowski is on your left side, and a good find by Collins, and the big fella running the floor and finishing with authority.
And you said he was cut. He looks like the young Clark Kellogg there.
He's got a few inches and a few LBs on me. But he finished like the big fella used to.
Duke by 2. Look at this. The Blue Devils with 14 more shots in the second half. Harpring nearly lost this one. Domzowski really aggressive on defense, as he always is.
Yeah, I think Stephon's got to step up. He had 23 of his 27 in the second half in the first meeting. And again, really has just been quite passive in terms of looking for his shot here tonight.
Harpring missed that one. Newton got a rebound. Duke with a chance to tie or take the lead. Great feed to Newton from Capel. A no look. Tied at 62. Nice comeback by the Blue Devils.
And they just did it a little bit at a time, Mike. Grinded it out.
First time this game has been tied tonight. 62 all. Got a holding foul on the drive.
Both of Duke's big guys can really run. Little penetration here, and here comes Newton storming down the lane. Again, he doesn't look the smoothest, but it's not about looks, it's about effectiveness and production.
Last foul was on Newton, only his second. Now Saunders will come out of the ball game. Maddox comes back in with 2:18 left. Marbury has missed both his free throw attempts. Very uncharacteristic of him, 75% shooter. Has only 6 points and 5 assists on the night. Hits this one. In sharp contrast to the dominance in scoring he had in the first game up at Cameron Indoor with 27 points, 23 coming in the second half. Misses again, but it's tipped outside. Marbury, they'll get another 35.
I think you've got to give Stephon some space because he can get a shot for him, for himself, or for somebody else.
Bobby Crimmins wants to set up a play with 2 minutes to go in the game. Right now, we'll check in with Chris Fowler. Chris?
All right, Mike, other games going on in conference.
Yes, it is. We love the signs that tell the truth. 63-62, Georgia Tech. 2 minutes to go in the game. Tech with only one timeout left. Duke has 2 fulls and a 20. Both teams with 9 team fouls in the possession arrow will give the ball to Georgia Tech in the next jump ball situation. Seconds on the shot clock as they inbound. Harpring hasn't touched it in a while either.
Again, both teams have been pretty solid defensively. Ball handling's been a little suspect in stages. Right now, I think you create space for Marbury and try to let him make something happen.
Shot clock at 10. Marbury tried to get it to Barry, who was cutting, and Collins knocked it away. Bobby Crimmins pointing out what he wants with 8 seconds to go on the shot clock. Barry will inbound. Marbury trying to hold off. Wojciechowski does and gets the ball. Newton comes over to help out. Tough shot by Marbury. The double team, shot clock running down, and he hits a runner.
Those kinds of plays are made by special players, Mike. This guy's going to be a special player for a long time.
Shouldn't play like a freshman. Capel for 3. Harpring knocks it outside. Here's Marbury. 3 on 2. And Marbury will pull it out. Nice intelligent play here.
Yeah, you've got a +3, and you've got possession now. A basket here really puts Duke in a tough position, so you want to make sure you try to get a good, high-quality shot.
Bobby Crimmins trying to orchestrate what he wants. Elisman gives it off to Saunders. Shot clock down to 10.
Wojciechowski doing a nice job keeping it from Marbury.
This one is up to Barry. He's going to have to take a tough shot. Leans into one. Great pass! And that's touched by Elisman. That basket interference ruled against Elisman. What a great pass by Berry to Marbury.
And Stephon just overshot it a hair.
Would have been 7 assists for Drew Berry, and he loves to get those assists. What a play.
Stephon Marbury trying to finish. Good challenge by Newton, and Alisma clearly on the rack. Good call by Dick Paparo.
Now both coaches have been called to the center of the court.
A little conference time. I wish I could just step out of here and head right over there and get in on
Go
it.
ahead. I'll hold the mic. Just come back and let us know what happened. I'm sure they'd be a lot more polite if you were over there. We've got 47.6 seconds left to go in this game. Georgia Tech by 3. It'll be Duke's basketball. As we said earlier, I think both teams have to feel very lucky to be in the position they're in right now.
Exactly, and Duke have had a number of close games where they should have won. I mean, their Temple game, their North Carolina game recently, I mean, they could be in the midst of a 6-game winning streak. In this situation, I think you want to try to maybe get 2 for 1 here. Try to take a shot within about 6 to 7 seconds so you get 2 for 1 in terms of working the shot clock. I don't think the college coaches and the college teams do that enough. It's almost like an unwritten rule in the NBA. Anytime you got this kind of situation, 2 for 1. But it's got to be a good shot here, I think. A penetration and pitch or a drive or a post up.
And with 47 seconds to go, they'd have to put one up in about the next 5 seconds.
Right.
That might not be a good shot.
It might be quick.
Here are the 5 ACC losses. And all of those, Duke blew double-digit leads. Well, they had another one tonight. They were up. The biggest lead was 26-13 in the first half. So if they lose this game, they will have blown a half-dozen double-digit leads during the season. And now Georgia Tech is going to go to the pressure, maybe because of that situation with the clock. They don't want them to shoot it.
And then also because of the fact that they had to inbound it from at the end of the court, it probably doesn't make any sense to try 2 for 1. If you could have gotten it at half court, then it's a better strategy.
The lead is 3. Price is fouled with 34 seconds to go. Foul is on Saunders. That's his 4th. Well, you got to feel for a guy like Bobby Crimmins. You can tell players, look, just make sure you do one thing. Don't foul. And 10 seconds later, somebody fouls.
I feel for all coaches.
Oh, couldn't be a coach? No way.
We got the best gig in the house, man.
Baseball for 2 years drove me out of that. Price tonight, 10 points, 3 rebounds. He's hit both of his free throw attempts. 64% on the year. He really came into his own at the beginning of the year, the Great Alaska shootout. Hits the first, he'll get another.
Really a classy kid, too. I mean, he went through a period where he was struggling. Back just a few weeks ago, it was still upbeat and positive and kind of worked through that. And you love to see that in the play.
The lead is 2. Cut it to 1. Georgia Tech does not have to shoot. The shot clock is off.
I think Duke has to give themselves a chance to force a turnover, but somewhere in the next 10 seconds or so, maybe they've got to commit the foul.
And Berry and Harpring will try to be the 2 guys who touch it all the time because they're the best free throw shooters.
So obviously at worst, considering that Harpring's a good free throw shooter, especially late in games, the most Duke can be down is 3 on a couple of makes. They've got 3-point capability from Price, Wojciechowski, Collins, and that's about it, and Capel as well.
Foul was on Capel, his 3rd. Georgia Tech free throw shooting 3rd in the ACC on the year, but tonight only 10 out of 18. However, Harpring is 7 out of 8 tonight, and Domsowski checks back in. Get some more size up front to rebound. If there's a miss, and Maddox, as Bobby Crimmins counters Mike Krzyzewski, put a little more beef in there to replace Saunders. Harpring with 16 points tonight, approaching his average. The lead is 2. And with 20.7 seconds to go, if he makes this, don't you believe Duke's got to go for 3?
If they get a good quick shot, I don't think they have to go for 3.
Missed it, but the rebound to Alisma. And he lost it on the way up, and he's fouled.
Man.
What a huge rebound on Alisma. especially after Domzowski and Newton were both in there for inside position.
Yep, he slid right inside.
And the crowd starting to chant Eddie. Maybe the biggest rebound he's had all year.
Here you are, right here. He's just going to slide right in here, folks.
Duke foul number 13, Taven Domzowski, that's his fourth.
Actually, he went the long way. He went behind. Domzowski slid in too far. You want to go in on an angle when you've got that inside position. Domzowski went in front of the goal instead of stepping towards the baseline.
And you hear people say all the time, rebounding is just wanting it. Well, Eddie Elisma wanted that one.
He chased that one down. He came all the way from the other side.
Now, Elisma's only point tonight came on a free throw. He's hit 1 of 2. He could make it a 2-possession game should he make both. If he makes 1, Duke could still tie it with a 3. Of course, he could miss both, and Duke can win it with a 3.
There are a lot of options on this one.
Everything's wild here. 18.7 seconds to go, and that one was rather ugly.
Stephon coaching him a little bit, up and over.
He said you got to get that little wrist turned.
That's right.
Huge free throw for Elisma. He shot much better late in the year. Hits the big one. The lead goes to 3.
See, I don't think you...
Second point.
Mike, the point you made, I don't think you have to have a 3 if you do something quickly here.
And quickly they'll get a timeout with 15.3 seconds to go. My only point here is when people say you don't need to get the 3, you're almost assuming they're not going to hit free throws after you have to foul them. And I'm going to assume the guys that are going to get the ball are the ones who are going to make the free throws. Then you got to hit a desperation 3 at the end. It's sort of a chess game to me.
Well, you've defended your position quite well, and I'll rebut you
That'll
when we
be the
get
first
back.
time.
Yeah.
All right, we have 15.3 seconds to go here. Let's check in with Chris Fowler in the studio. Chris, what do you have?
Well, I have another coach sitting next to me, so why don't you check in on this debate they're having about shooting the 3 versus taking the 2 and hoping they miss shots.
Well, I think Coach K right now wants to go to the basket, get the 2, then come back with a quick foul, and you're still in it with 2 possessions.
So you agree with Clark then? Or Mike? Updating some other scores. Wake Forest, 57-45 lead over Florida State, lead by 12 with about 10 minutes to play. Other games, Purdue in the Big Ten, 36-25 lead over Wisconsin. They're at halftime in Madison. And Iowa, remember, playing without Chris Kingsbury tonight, but still leading Northwestern by 9. Back now to Atlanta for the closing seconds. Guys?
67-64, Georgia Tech by 3 with 15.3 seconds to go in the ball game. Duke's basketball. Here's the 3-point story. They have not shot it well tonight, but they have shot it well during the season. And Capel and Collins have ice water for blood. They can drain them under pressure.
Between those two, they're 4 of 12 tonight, Capel and Collins. And you know that they're going to at least look for it. But driving the ball gives you the option, Mike, I think, to take it to the hole. Or if the defenders come, now you get a chance to pitch it for the good 3. But I think whatever you do, you've got to do it quickly. And the best way typically to even think about entertaining a good 3-point shot is by driving the ball, drawing defenders and pitching. If you can't pitch it, now you've got a chance maybe to draw a foul. And that would be the posture that I would take from here.
You also have defended your position well. I think they've got to get the 3. Price. Got it. Georgia Tech quickly down to Saunders. No foul call. A lot of contact underneath. Capel back the other way. 5 seconds. Chance to win. Wojciechowski. Saunders with a rebound. Harpring with the ball. We go to overtime. And Bobby Cremens is up off the bench and joining the Georgia Tech crowd, really upset that there was no foul call as Saunders went to the hoop. Free basketball coming your way. 5 more minutes from Atlanta.
What's on the outside of your...
They double up on Collins, and now you're scrambling. Tough shot here by Ricky Price. 2 guys around him. He buries it. I thought this was a great play by Drew Berry to get it up ahead. Now, let's see. I think that's a pretty good no call.
I did too.
Because if you call it, you probably had to go against Gary Saunders. I mean, he initiated that contact there.
Coach K asking his defense to get back, but a terrific pass by Berry. And Price was the guy who drained the big one. And this will be the first overtime game for both ball clubs this year. As you see the numbers on Price, And of those 5 field goals that he made, the last one was the biggest.
He had a couple of huge free throws prior to that, so 5 big points for Ricky Price there.
Alisma hit a big free throw to make it a 10-point game.
He also had missed one. It would have been a 4-point game had he made both when he was at the line a few seconds before that Price shot.
Is the glass half full or half empty?
Depends on how you want to look at it. New ball game now.
Wojciechowski pushes it up to Capel. And Capel will start off with a 3. Saunders with a rebound.
I don't have any stats to back this up, but there's something psychological about scoring first in overtime period.
Yes, sir.
Maybe even more so for the home squad.
Well, that 5 minutes looks so small. Harpring over Capel. Well, let's see if that holds up. Harpring with 19 points tonight. Wojciechowski. Boy, we've had some strange matchups on defense.
Yeah, here's one right here.
Absolutely.
Well, Georgia Tech likes to switch a little bit. And then Harpring with the 4 fouls. Maybe going to try to play out on the perimeter a little more. That leg is cramping up on Price, I think.
Price is down again, exactly. Boy, and this is a blow for them because he was on the bench for about 5 minutes the last time it happened.
Exactly. Look at Harpring moving without the ball. Nice little curl. Good little bump by Gary Saunders. And then again, Capel in position, but he's given up about 3 inches to Harpring, and Matt just took his time and shot right over him.
Price will go to the bench with his 15 points and hitting that huge 3 at the end of the game. And obviously in quite a bit of pain from that cramp. It looked like the last one was in the calf. This looks like it's in the thigh. He may have caught a knee in the thigh as well.
Whatever the deal is, he's certainly agonizing.
Check some scores as Kentucky with 63 in the first half. Wake Forest now stretching it out over Florida State, and Domzowski will come back in the ballgame as Price goes out.
Syracuse hangs on and gets a Big East win. Eastern Michigan comes back. Well, that's got to be so frustrating, Mike. I mean,
they lose a big-time player there. Let's see. Hopefully he'll be able to get back in.
I mean, his presence on the floor is something that Tech has to think about. Now he's not out there.
Wojciechowski caught in the lane and had to get up in the air and throw it to somebody. Couldn't find anyone. 14 turnovers for Duke. Georgia Tech has 24 turnovers tonight. They're still up by 2.
Well, they had that one good stretch in the second half of the first half, the last 11 minutes, where they didn't turn it over but 3 times, and that's when they actually took control of the game.
Shot clock at 14 as we hit 3.5 minutes.
See, I think you got to always continue to be aggressive. Too often in overtime, teams start driving the car with the parking brake on.
Alisma goes in and draws the foul off the good pass from Marbury. I think it makes you one-dimensional.
Yeah, right. You got to play. I mean, it's just a condensed game. You don't want to start becoming overly cautious. Get after it. Move the ball. Take shots. Be aggressive. Don't get so cautious.
Foul was on Domzowski. He is gone. The 4th straight game he is fouled out of, and the 7th this season. And has Clark's new nickname of DQ. You'll give him another nickname before.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Much more complimentary.
Exactly. That's how they list the foul outs.
Yeah.
DQ. So he's done it probably more than anybody in the minutes he's been on the floor in the conference. But no, he's got a lot to his package.
Stan Brunson comes in. Alisma only 2 of 4. Now making 2 out of 5.
He's overshot every single first free throw.
Absolutely.
And he makes the adjustment on the second.
Domzowski, a good night off the bench. 9 points, 3 rebounds, and he battled on defense.
Same thing every trip tonight.
Elisma makes it a 3-point game.
Duke has kind of forgotten about Newton here in the last 6 minutes or so.
Marbury got a hand on it, didn't even see it. And you're right, they have not gone to Newton very much. After having great success early.
Right. And what that does, it puts additional pressure on the defense when you throw it inside.
Capel goes baseline, he's fouled. It's going to be Maddox, and 3 on Maddox.
Georgia Tech foul number 24, Michael Maddox. That's his third.
Barry recovering off balance, and Jeff Capel makes him pay. And there it is right there. They caught legs. They tangled up below the waist there.
Capel, 13 points, 5 assists on the night. An excellent free throw shooter. Hits the first one. One-point game as Jeff Capel hits 2 for 2. 2:55 to go in overtime. Georgia Tech by 1 over Duke. Go in overtime. The reason we're in overtime, Georgia Tech has hit 10 out of 19 free throws in the second half, and they have missed 9 free throws in the second half.
Yeah.
Or they would have won this ballgame.
Good call, Mike. Got to make those freebies.
You joined us late. Here's the game summary. Georgia Tech still shooting over 50% for the night, but they have 24 turnovers.
Just think of all the possessions all the shots they weren't able to get because of not squeezing the arm.
When they kept a hold of it, they played great.
Exactly.
Barry with Collins on him. Trying to go low to Harpring. Has been guarded by Brunson. Now to Marbury. Wojo's done a pretty good job on him all night.
Yeah, he's kept him in front.
Back to Elisma. Shot clock at 8. Barry to Harpring for 3. Air ball. There's the follow by Maddox. Won't go. Newton with a rebound. I think Maddox expected somebody to challenge the shot. Nobody did. Duke with a chance to take the lead.
They haven't led since the first half, have they?
30-28 the last time they had it. Now they've got it. Capel hits a runner. 71-70. Bobby Crimmins calls out the play that he wants. Marbury, 3. Too strong. Collins with a long rebound. And Harpring very careful, trying not to pick up his 5th foul. And now Bobby Crimmins says, come out and give me some defense. .70 Blue Devils. Capel stripped by Marbury out of bounds off Stephon. And Collins will be the trigger man with 1:21 to go. There's 15 on the shot clock. Now 7 on the shot clock. It's up to Capel against Barry. Lost it out of bounds.
Man, what a tough break there. Boy, you milk that clock, that shot clock down, and then don't quite get a shot.
Georgia Tech substitution.
Here's the timeout situation. Duke with 1 full. Georgia Tech has 2 full. And Georgia Tech will take one of its timeouts. We want to talk about this. 1:03 left in the game. They're down by 1. And Clark, the last few times down, they have gone to the same basic set, and it really hasn't produced anything for them.
Yeah, I think he's going to try to come out with something a little different. And they've been passive, I think, in their possessions here in the overtime period. I understand that it is only 5 minutes, and you have it, but I think you can't afford to stop doing what you've been doing the whole game. I mean, you've got to throw it inside, you've got to try to drive it, and I'm really surprised Stephon hasn't tried to do a little more, at least in terms of creating situations.
Me too.
I don't know if he's tired or if he's got a little I just can't figure it. He's really not been aggressive at all in terms of looking for opportunities to create.
How huge is this game for Georgia Tech? Well, they can get back into a tie for second place with North Carolina after the Terrapins of Maryland, who are charging hard into fourth place and playing very well, knocked off the Tar Heels last night. Duke, of course, with a win here in overtime, could go to 5-5 and really get back in the race. They would be fifth in the ACC with a 5-5 record and go to 14-8 overall.
I tell you, a team that I think bears watching is North Carolina State. They've had a couple of close losses, got a good win against North Carolina. I think if they can build on that, they can put together a little run. They've got a great inside player in Fuller, got good quickness and perimeter people in Hyatt and Strong and Benjamin.
2 years in a row, they have knocked off North Carolina in Raleigh.
Right.
Big wins for Les Robinson. The numbers on Marbury tonight, he's hit only 4 out of 10. Barry will inbound with 1:03 left to go in the game. Barry, who leads the ACC in assists, has 7 tonight.
Opening up the floor, a little 1-4 action here.
Tough shot from Marbury, and he hit it. That's the toughest shot he's taken tonight.
He had that one floater along the baseline, but you're right, that was tougher, fading away.
The lead is one for Georgia Tech.
You need to defend without fouling, and you've got to rebound.
20 on the shot clock. 7-second difference on the game clock. And now Wojo calls a timeout.
That's the key number, Mike. There's a 7-second difference. So Georgia Tech, even if Duke scores, still should have time to get a shot. So you don't want to foul here. You just want to defend without fouling right here.
Especially after you have the shot clock down to 16 seconds and they'll have to inbound it.
Right.
Take a look at that last shot by Marbury.
Well, see, they just spreaded the floor, and again, I thought this was something they could have gone to a little while ago. Because again, Wojo plays good position, but he can't bother Marbury's shot in there, and that's a high percentage shot. I mean, he's in the dotted line area on the reverse dribble. Actually got forced into the shot because he picked up his bounce. And when a guy makes a shot like that, as a coach, as a player, you just say, hey, that's a good shot, because we played pretty good deep.
And Georgia Tech certainly facing a tough stretch here. They have North Carolina and Wake Forest coming up. At North Carolina on the number 12 North Carolina, then number 9 Wake Forest here in Atlanta. And certainly Georgia Tech with some quality wins this year. And they won't be afraid to go up against either one of those clubs, but it's tough playing them back-to-back.
Substitution number 3, Ricky Price.
That's Saturday when they hook up with North Carolina. Well, I tell you what, you look at the balance of this league, I mean, and again, they don't have any heavyweight teams, but in terms of balance, they're going to be well represented in the tournament and probably do pretty good damage come tournament time. Because you think about it, Mike, there's 7 or 8 squads out there that may be a notch above the others. Then you throw the rest of the tournament field in a pot, and their teams ranked from 16 to 35. They could stumble around and beat one of those top-ranked teams, no question.
Price is back in. He's been out twice with cramps. And yet I think you have to look at Kentucky and UMass as the class above everybody.
Yeah. I'd throw Cincinnati and Nova maybe just a notch below those guys, along with UConn.
Shot clock at 13.
And Kansas.
Capel gets it.
Good D here.
Shot clock at 3. Really forced him into a bad shot.
That was great D.
That sure was.
That was fabulous defense.
Capel had to take a tough shot from a tough angle with the shot clock running out.
And he helped Georgia Tech a little bit there by not staying in the middle of the floor. See, you bring that baseline into play, it becomes another defender when you pick up your dribble down there fighting the shot clock. See, ideally, he would have liked to see him try to stay in the middle of the floor. And he picks up his dribble here, and then he's got a taller guy on him. And then Harpring just chases down that shot.
And Elisma was very smart. He didn't try to block it and create the foul. Now Harpring, who has hit 8 of 10 free throws tonight, can make it a 3-point game. He can't put it away, and he could leave it in jeopardy. Missed the first. We may be playing here till about 11 o'clock tonight.
We might be, because if he makes this, it's a 2-point game.
Hits the free throw, a 2-point lead.
I go for the win here.
Got to.
I go for the win.
Capel goes inside, lost the ball. Georgia Tech comes out with it. Harpring has it. It's over. Mike Krzyzewski wanted the foul. Bobby Crimmins wanted to travel. Neither one got what they wanted. But Bobby Crimmins gets the major prize, a 73-71 win in overtime that will take them to 7-3 in the ACC, a tie for second place.
Good scrambling D here. See, not enough good space in there, and then there's a little bump by Marbury.
But most of the time in that situation, you're not going to see that one called. And I don't think it should be.
Loose ball, it's Harpring.
Yeah. Kind of incidental contact there, Mike.
Be a tough sell to Mike Krzyzewski, who wants the foul as Marbury got the knee in there.
Yeah, that's a tough way to go out.
Our final score, 73-71 in overtime for Clark Kellogg and our entire ESPN crew. This is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let's join Chris Fowler.
Just another night in the ACC. Georgia Tech still battling for first place in the conference. Duke, another heartbreaker. They dropped to 4-6. What we missed, Seton Hall and Rutgers, the opening minutes of the Garden State Parkway rivalry. Adrian Griffin had 24 points, 12 boards as the Pirates beat Rutgers in the first meeting. Here he knifes inside, gets the lefty layup to drop. Right now the game is deadlocked. Well, Rutgers has just jumped up by 2. We'll join that game right after we come back. Once again, Tech wins in overtime by a deuce.